All right, so we have Jay from Mindfulness Veterans, dude. Thanks for stopping in, man. You
No,
drove.
yeah, of course, man.
How far did you drive in?
Almost 2 hours.
2 hours to come
Yeah,
here, man.
absolutely.
I appreciate you, brother.
No, yeah, of course, man.
Thank you. So how we met was through Oath to Country Foundation.
Right.
They were doing like a Christmas event, I think.
No, yeah. I think it was in Orange County, right?
Yeah, it was like at a bar or a brewery or something.
It was for Christmas, and they were giving back toys and all
Right.
that. Yeah.
So I met you then. At that time, I don't know if you were engaged, but I know you had a girlfriend. I don't know if that was your fiance at the time.
No, at the time she was just my girlfriend.
So she was your girlfriend,
Yeah.
right? So there's a lot that's happened since then.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah, tremendously. Just a lot going on. A lot of things happen. A lot of venues and opportunities that popped up.
Well, what happened with her?
Well, after that, I was like, she's incredible. And then I married her 3-4 months later.
Okay, congratulations.
No, appreciate that. Yeah.
And then, so the Mindfulness Veterans, when I met you, we talked about different mental problems, different things, psychosis, things with the brain, things with the body.
Right.
And we talked about like shrooms, like microdosing.
Right.
And since then, you have started something where it is official, where you can actually give medicine to people who need it.
Yeah, so me and my wife actually started the House of Light.
House of Light.
Yeah, church.
Okay.
What's a temple?
Gotcha.
The House of Light Temple. And through there, we could offer these entheogenic plants as our sacrament to people who seek them.
Okay.
In a ceremony and in a guided type of way.
So like the stuff that you would see on La Bamba when Richie and his brother went out to the desert and
Yeah. So that's like indigenous, and that's like peyote.
Okay.
So all these are plant medicines. Ayahuasca, bufo. Well, bufo is more of a bufo olivaris, comes from a frog, but it's still a form of DMT.
Oh, okay.
But all this, it helps you seek inner healing and mental health issues.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the way we provide it is we give you the medicine, but unlike other practitioners, we have the ceremony, but we just don't kick you out. We talk about these problems, the patterns that you seek, and the mental health, and we put you on a proper integration plan, how to rewire your brain. Because you could do the medicine and then feel good, right? Like,
right.
I mean, you do anything, you feel good,
right.
and you go back into the real world. But a lot of people don't know how to keep that in a long-term way. And they go back. After a while, they live in the world where it's pretty crazy, working, job, and everything, right? So it's really hard to stay on that path. But by providing the integration and the coaching, and then how to the keys to rewire the brain, they could keep these effects longer and possibly forever.
Gotcha.
But it is up to them to stay on the path. And then healing takes a lot of tremendous work within the person to want to change.
So basically, you're bringing someone back from the forest, putting them back on the road, and saying, "Here's your path.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is where you need to go.
Exactly.
Let me show you. Let me get you dialed back into where you were before the trauma or before whatever happened in your life to get you to this point. Now you're saying, hey, come on in. I got something for you.
Yeah.
Let's get you going.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they're really apprehensive because it's a new age coming.
Right.
And all these medicines have been out there, but I feel that the way they were portrayed is different.
Okay.
So a lot of even magic mushrooms and then psychedelics, you have to understand that after people started doing them, was after World War II. And World War II was extremely depressing, right? The whole world was at war, and everybody was seeking this higher vibration or energy, or they just wanted to feel good, right? So they did these magic mushrooms, or just mushrooms, and they felt this higher energy, and they felt so good, and they're all tapping into I love you, and even love within itself is a higher form of it. But if you go from such war, during war there was no love. Everybody was just killing each other, and racism, and who was alive, who was not, and then they inject themselves with this higher energy, and that's essentially what you get hippies from. They felt good, but they don't understand how to handle these higher feelings of love and feeling good. So they just went free this, free that. But now we teach people how, after you feel that, how to keep it.
Okay.
So what you usually, when you're depressed or you go through a traumatic experience, you have these dendrites and these synapses, right? So if you're constantly thinking about being depressed and over-analyzing, I'm not good enough, you build these synapse connections, and they're pretty good. And you make such a strong connection that when you wake up, that's what you constantly think of. And if somebody tells you something, or if you go surfing or you get out in nature and you feel really good, but those are new connections that you have to rewire, but that feeling only lasts 6 seconds.
Okay.
And if people want to keep that up, and in order to do that, you have to incorporate these things, like talk to yourself better, right? But not necessarily that, deal with the issue of where these thoughts come from. right? So if like I went through a traumatic experience, yeah, you went through it, but you have to be at peace with it, come at peace with it, and accept it, and do the work through it for you not necessarily constantly thinking about it and
Right.
giving all your attention to it. Because wherever you give your attention, the energy flows. And where neurons fire together, they wire together. So if you're constantly thinking of depression, those neurons are so strong together.
Right.
But if you're constantly building yourself up and being happy, then you're always going to be like, wow, I feel amazing, right? Naturally.
Right. It's like what we talked earlier, is laws of attraction.
Yeah.
If you constantly think negative, bad thoughts, that's all that's going to be running through your brain. But if
Right.
you reprogram, think the positive, think, good thoughts. It's just like you are who you surround yourself with.
No, exactly. And at first, it is going to feel uncomfortable because essentially they don't teach us how to work out our brains, right?
Right.
Like you go to the gym to work it out, you go surfing and all this, and it takes practice. So if you're constantly thinking depression, you're in a certain brainwave. And to go into another brainwave, it takes practice and discipline to stay
Right.
on there, right?
And a lot of people don't have the strength or the know-how to get out of that dark place
Right.
by themselves. So they continuously stay there, and then that becomes the new normal.
No, exactly. And especially in the Western world that we live in, they don't provide modalities, right? You go to the doctor, and the doctor will give you a treatment, but doctors are mostly there for your physical, right?
Right.
And you go to a therapist, but then they give you pills.
Yep.
And then by taking these pills, you're actually it's actually giving your power away to the pills. And then at the end of the day, you're like, I need this pill to feel good. I need this pill to feel good. And that within itself, you're rewiring your brain to thinking, I need some type of outside substance to feel good.
Yes.
Rather than, I do feel good. I just have to do the work and discover what makes me feel good and makes me feel happy.
Right. Well, that was what the doctor gives you, is the easy way to feel good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's I don't have to dive into anything to learn what makes me feel good. I just take this and I'm solid.
No,
and
right.
I was that prisoner for 8-9 years of opioids.
Oh, dang.
I was addicted. The VA was, hey, I think I got like 180 a month, and I was still searching the street, for extras.
No, yeah.
I went to sunflower seeds.
Oh, sunflower seeds.
That got me completely off of prescription medication.
Really? How did that work?
I realized that when I put that pill on my tongue, it didn't do anything.
Mhm.
It was my mind saying, "Oh, I'm there.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
gone. Right? I'm cool."
Yeah, yeah.
I would feel the body aches, but then I put that pill in my mouth and I was cool. So what happened was my brother overdosed on Dilaudid.
Oh, wow.
He died, but he's on life support and all that stuff. And once that happened, I reevaluated things and said, shit, I have a problem. I'm not taking this pill because I have severe pain. I'm taking it because it's time.
Right.
And that's when I realized, like, okay, what can I do to change this? And so as soon as I wanted the pill, grabbed a handful of sunflower seeds, I put them in my mouth, separate the kernel, spit the shell, separate the kernel.
Mhm.
By the time I got done with that in a mouthful, I didn't want the pill.
Dang.
I was just moved on, and that's how I got off of pills. Real talk.
Yeah, that's amazing. Sorry to hear about your brother, man.
It's what it's shit happens for a reason, and if he had to do what he did to make me realize, I look at it like it wasn't unjustly. It sucks that it happened. It wasn't on purpose. I don't think he realized how much he took of what he took.
Right.
I think he saw it was like 0.5 milligrams, but it's Dilaudid, so it's like,
Yeah, that's pretty.
that's not. Yeah, he took like 10,
Right.
and so
Dang.
yeah. So it wasn't intentional. He was just he was escaping something, and I wish I could have been there to to help him, or I wish I would have known.
Right.
But I wish I would have known. I would have turned him on this, because many don't know this. I'm gonna look at the camera and tell you this is when we met, we talked about the whole microdosing thing.
Right.
And I'm like, I've never done shrooms in my life.
Yeah.
I smoke weed. Okay, yeah, I do. Did ecstasy once, never done cocaine or nothing like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, shrooms? Nah, dude, I'm not trying to see no green goblin smurfs running
No.
around, like I was so, and then at the table we were sitting at, it was guys, girls, husbands, wives, and they were like, nah, listen, my husband's doing it. It has been the biggest change in his life. Go see Jay. Go see what he's doing. And now that you have the church,
Yeah.
go there and get into a regimen, a program that can help me. And so I started microdosing thanks to you and the church.
Okay.
So thank you.
No, yeah, of course.
But my experience with that is life changing.
No, yeah, it's really life changing. I'd like to get back to the subject where your brother overdosed. My ex-wife actually overdosed and died, passed away.
Oh shit.
And then my 12-year-old, well, now he's 13. He was 11 at the time. He's the one that found her overdose and choking and called 911.
Wow.
And then she passed away. And then she left me with 2 kids. And yeah, that within itself was a struggle, just because I had so much anger towards her, just because she just wanted to feel good, but she was dealing with some inner turmoil.
Right.
Right. And then she was on opiates, fentanyl, Tylenol. I mean, the doctors just gave her everything just to feel good.
And that was probably a time where they were just dishing it out before
they were just dishing it out, and she was just like, I want to feel better. And then her passing away just made me realize that the opiate epidemic, that it's not the way.
Right.
And then leaving her, and then leaving me with 2 kids, it takes a lot of strength within myself to find, just to make them happy and help them understand that what your mom was dealing with was inner, and it had nothing to do with you or my daughter.
Right.
And now they're on their own path. Unfortunately, they don't live with me, just because being here in California brings up too much.
Okay.
So my son lives in Sedona, Arizona, and out there it's a lot better, just because it's so quiet.
Really nice out there.
Yeah. So out there, and then my daughter lives in Bath, Florida, but she goes to a private Christian school.
Oh, okay.
So
How old are your kids?
My daughter's 15, and my son is 13.
Oh, okay. So they're still younger.
Yeah, and then when I see them, I see that they're still not fully healed, and then that's their path, and they have to do their work. But right now they're kids, and they're still dealing with their emotional world. And I try to talk to them and help them understand, but yeah, they just,
How hard was that to? I mean, God, talk about totally revamping your life. What struggles did you go through mentally?
For me, it was just like, was I not a good person? Did I lead her to those actions? And then when she was on those medications, she was never mentally right. One day she'll be good, and the next day she'll be off. Right. One day, hey Jay, let's co-parent for our kids, and the next day I hate you. And then our kids saw that, unfortunately.
Right.
And unfortunately, she also wasn't the best role model, and then she always spoke really bad about me. And then
God, I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah, but then also that it just helped me just do work within myself,
Right.
And then it takes, I would first seek within myself and heal myself, and then be like, you know what, at the end of the day, she did what she did because she wasn't happy, and something happened to her that she wasn't okay with.
Right.
But then I got angry with the Western world and doctors. I'm like, why do you give these people medication? Like, and they have to, right? Money, right? And then I'm like, I know the doctors and the therapists know that she wasn't mentally well. And they're there, and they go to the Ivy League schools, right? D1, Harvard,
Right.
all this. But yet, they're like, here's pills, and here's pills. And they couldn't actually come to identify what's wrong with her. And now looking at it and being in the field, I'm like, it's easy trauma. You know what I mean?
Right.
To see her patterns and show her patterns, and even tell her, like, hey, what you're doing is not healthy for your kids.
Right.
And even put her on a microdose program, all these plant medicines that would help her. Like, you once they see the problem, they have to identify. But once you're in that dark state, you have to feel better without any medication, And then microdosing and all that helps you raise your vibration and make you feel good.
But nobody has money invested in that.
No.
So there's no money to be made. So there's no, why do we have commercials with
Right.
Are you feeling this? Are you
Right.
feeling this?
Yeah.
Ask your doctor if this is right for you.
No,
Like,
right.
Why the hell am I going to ask my doctor if this is fucking right? Like, shouldn't my doctor say, like, hey, this is what you need? Like,
Exactly, right?
so
And the medication they give you, I mean, you feel good and it treats that symptom. But then, like in the commercials, yeah, it's going to feel good, but you actually might die, right?
Right.
Oh, there's 20 other symptoms.
Right.
And I'm like, and then they give you another pill for those other symptoms,
Yep.
and so forth and so forth. But even then, they could even introduce microdosing. Like if you're feeling depressed or anything, go on a journey or go on a retreat.
Right.
Right. And then microdosing. And every journey, every person is different. It's not necessarily you take a microdose or mushrooms one day and you're healed. It just doesn't work like that. You have to do the work and be on a long-term plan to see the effects.
Right.
And the benefits from it. So they could even market it that way. Here, if nothing else is working, try microdosing. Talk to your physician or a mental health specialist to get you on a retreat or regimen to help you eventually heal.
Right.
But then,
Yeah, but that's taboo though. That's the the old people right now are going, oh, they're fucking hippies. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's a somewhat of a taboo or bad stigma where people hear like mushrooms automatically.
Yeah.
It is automatic. People are like, oh hell no, like you're a bad person. Which, and I'm gonna be honest, I had a feeling like that towards it until I started it.
and I think all the feeling that you were feeling is not necessarily your feeling.
No, it was what I was brought up to understand.
It's what they program
Yes.
into you, right?
Yes.
So
100.
Even going on the internet and everything you see, a lot of the internet, it's the perspective of people who have bad experiences.
Right.
Right. Oh, I took so much and I had a bad experience.
Right.
But microdosing a mushroom just enhance the mood that you're in.
Yeah.
And if you notice, a lot of people like, I'm going to go to a concert on mushrooms. Subconsciously, they don't know, but they're actually programming themselves that they know if I take mushrooms, I'm going to feel really good at a concert. But it's not necessarily just at a concert. But if you do microdosing and then go hiking, right?
Right.
Or do some type of activity that lifts you up, you're programming yourself with that feeling, and then you'll feel great. And then at those higher doses, you will go through a journey. There's a book called The Body Keeps Score. So every trauma that you experience, your body remembers it.
Okay.
So when you go through higher dosages of shrooms, you're working through the trauma through your body.
Okay.
So if you take this and I don't feel good, that's just because that's a traumatic event, and trauma is different to everybody.
Right.
And I could walk down, somebody could flip me off, and I'm like, I'm traumatized.
Right. Right.
And I can remember that forever. But you have to work through that and release that energy through your body, and then after you'll feel incredible. Usually, everybody that does it that way, they feel incredible.
It's like I told you, I didn't feel like when I smoke weed or smoke a bowl or take an edible, like I can feel like, oh shit, yeah, I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
I didn't notice a difference. Throughout my day, I didn't feel like, oh, I'm fucking loopy. Or
Did you see any elves or anything?
Didn't see elves or fucking garden gnomes, mowing my lawn.
Like, oh my gosh, right?
No, I didn't see shit, right? But at the end of the day, I would reflect and I'd go, fuck, man, I didn't get mad today. Right. Holy shit, I have bad road rage. Like I'll pull somebody out of their fucking car. Like I get so mad. Right. I'd just be driving, do, blinker on, like no care in the world, man. And I loved that I didn't have that initial like change or anything, but at the end of my day, I felt good about my day. Like it didn't lead me into the next day feeling bad. Mm-hmm. I was looking forward to the next day. I felt like, we talked earlier and I told you that, most people sit here and worry about tomorrow, and yet here we are today, but you're worrying about tomorrow.
No, right.
You know what I mean? Like for me, it was like I was looking forward to that next day. I was like, bring it. Like I feel good. I felt focused. I felt like no matter what obstacle came my way, it was like, like you can't phase this.
Right. And I think you have a higher level of people that don't understand. That's called EQ. EQ is called emotional intelligence. So by you getting angry, a lot of people, these emotions, they take control of us, right? And we don't know how to like fend them off. Like, no, stop. But by you not even noticing them and being like when you were microdosing, you're like, okay, cool. So I could control my emotions, and you essentially took your power back. And then the next day, you're like, then you started realizing as the day went on, man, all these feelings and all that, I can control them.
Well, it made me realize it was a choice.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to react.
And it wasn't a reaction. It's a choice.
Yeah.
Now I can sit here and within milliseconds go, nah.
Right.
You're not penetrating this.
Right.
Like I'm at this level. You're down here. You're trying to get in. I'm not letting you in.
Yeah.
You can't match this vibe.
And that within itself takes a lot of mental power and a lot of strength and will within the person. Because you feel these chemicals and it's almost like they want to take you over, right? And you're like, oh my gosh. And the easy thing is just to give into them. But fighting them is the hardest part. And a lot of people out there, they don't have these modalities, right? And me and you, we've been through a lot of trauma and experiences to where there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
So we know how to overcome them. But a lot of people don't know how to do that,
They think it is the end.
Yeah, they feel that this is the end. I just want to end my life.
Right.
Well, that's why through the church, we not necessarily just provide the medicine, but we offer these different modalities, like through breath work, right? And then breath work, when you do it, releases oxygen into your body, and you feel good.
Well, describe it. What's breath work? Like what's...
So it's called Kundalini. Kundalini is just the energy, your prana in your body. So a lot of people who are depressed and then they don't know how to get that natural feeling or chemicals released into them. It's like the Wim Hof. You go, and there's certain breath work like that. You're just getting more oxygen into your body. But on top of that, you have these new chemicals being released. Okay. And you feel amazing. You feel alive, like, wow. But those are your own natural body chemicals that we don't know how to release on a daily basis.
Okay.
And by doing that, you actually treat yourself, because then you get rid of the depression feeling. But of that hopelessness, brain waves, you're like, oh, I don't feel good. But by doing the breath work, you feel good. And on top of that, you're injecting yourself with higher vibration. And then at the end of the day, people need is hope, right?
Right.
right? And through that, even through the meditation that I do, and I tell people, it's not necessarily about Om and tapping into the universe. Like if your mind's always going crazy, you just close your eyes for 10 minutes, and it's giving your mind a break. That's like fasting, right?
Damn,
Giving your
that's
stomach
crazy.
a break, right?
That's crazy. I like that.
Right? Instead of just eating all the time and I
Right.
feel bloated, when you don't want to eat, like, you know what, I ate too much, I'm just giving my stomach a break. So just close your eyes and just sit there. It doesn't have to be nothing crazy. And just give it like 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, you'll see profound changes. Your mind was just, at first, because your mind's going crazy running, but give it time, and then it's like, oh, okay. And you wake up, and your mind just took a break. And it's literally just, and the longer you do it, the longer the break is for your mind and for your stomach, right?
Right.
And then the more you do it, the more you see these changes are incredible within yourself, and you start seeing yourself. And then now you start noticing these emotions coming up, and you're like, oh, okay, feel it. Oh, I see you. Go away.
That's crazy. So when you do the breath work, is this something where someone comes in and sees you? Do you do like an online thing? Are you doing this? Like how is someone like?
Well, we have a studio, and I also work with other yoga studios.
Okay.
So it's Kundalini yoga. And let me rephrase on that. It's not necessarily yoga where you just stand there. It's actually more mental yoga.
Okay.
So you do the breath work holding like this, and then breathe in. But have you tried holding your arms like that for like 2 or 3 minutes? It's a workout within
Right.
itself. So it takes tremendous will in yourself to just sit there and be in that state.
Okay. And concentrate.
Right.
And
And all these other positions that we do put tremendous pressure on certain lungs to release this cortisol. Because you have this vagus nerve system. If you're always tense, you live in that flight and fight mode, right?
Right.
Right. And do these yoga positions, you push on your liver and then your lung and your stomach, and it releases all this cortisol. So you even start sweating, and then you start detoxing. And after when you leave, you feel incredible.
Huh. See, I feel that tense when I drive.
Yeah.
I feel that I push down and like my calves are like or like I just and then I relax. I'm like, okay. And then next thing I know, I'm like I can feel myself just full on tensed up, and I don't know how to stop doing that.
So that within yourself, you actually program yourself from a time that maybe a situation happened where it's crazy, and then that's what you remember it. Right. And then in order to do that, you have to be like, okay, I'm angry, but why am I angry? He cut me off. Well, I should be treated better, right? He shouldn't be doing that to me. Or
Right.
maybe it's the ego. I need to have more respect. And then be like, but why, if he's making a mistake and we're all human, why are you reacting so angry to it? And then you ask these questions like, oh, well, I deserve this respect. I'm like, but why? Right? And maybe it's at some point somebody didn't respect you or give you that type of like appreciation or something.
Right.
And then that's where you have to get to it. And then eventually you realize where it comes from, and you see, okay, now I know where it comes from. Okay, just stay calm. And then that's when we talked about the synapse and the dendrites.
Right.
So now you have such a strong connection to when somebody cuts you off or road rage, you're already, even getting in the car, like you said, you're already now, oh, somebody cuts me off. Right. So even if somebody cuts you off, and then within that self, you just have to be, like you told me earlier, count from 5 to 1, right?
Right.
And then that's within itself, you're rewiring yourself. Rewiring your brain, you're tapping into new brain waves when you're in that state. And eventually, somebody cuts you off, you'll be like,
So hard though.
it is.
It's so hard.
It
dude.
is, man.
And I think my biggest problem with the driving thing is throughout my life, throughout my day, I don't hang out with stupid people.
Okay.
I don't associate with idiots or dumb fucks or just jackasses.
Yeah.
And when you get on the road, unfortunately, you have to mix yourself up with other licensed drivers that are complete fucking idiots.
No, yeah.
And that's my problem. Like I use blinkers, I use all that. You know, I'm just dude. I just drive right. And you got those other dumbasses out there that can't do the speed limit or
No, right.
You know, and that's what irritates me. Is like it's so simple.
And it is simple. And then, but the way you're saying it is like you're giving your power away to incompetent people.
Oh, for sure. I'm
Right.
gonna be honest. That's the one. That's the one thing I'm working on in my life.
Yeah.
Where I mean, you could walk up to me in public and call me a bitch.
Yeah.
And I would laugh, and I would probably be like, "You better put sassy in front of it." You know what I mean? Or because to me it's a word.
Mhm.
It means nothing. There's no value in your word to me because you don't know my name. You don't know my wife's name. You don't know my kid's name. You don't know what I do. You know nothing about me.
Right.
So what you say to me is not going to penetrate this.
Mhm.
But when I'm on the road and you do something stupid and I got my family in the truck and you cut me off,
Yeah.
I lose it. I don't know why. And I need to do your breathing stuff. I think I need to come in and I think I need to,
man. You need to come in. And like I said, we do these. And then my wife, she also helps me run the House of Light. And we do offer different modalities. We like sound healing.
Okay.
It's different.
That's with the bowl, like the
Yeah. So we do it in more in a modernized way. You come in, you just lay down. but these bowls release a frequency that even helps you calm down from the state that you're in, and they play with your brain waves.
Okay.
So by doing that, if you're constantly in that flight or flight mode, it just brings you to a level of calmness that you've never thought you could get to.
Okay.
And by doing that, that within itself, you're rewiring your brain and showing your body that, hey, we could calm down. And there are other ways to calm down and be out of the state that we're in.
So if can anybody come there?
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's open to anybody.
Oh, right.
Do you guys offer anything special for like veterans, or is there anything like do you guys offer like a discount? Or
yeah, we do offer discounts to veterans because like yourself, I'm a veteran. You know, I deployed and all that, and then yeah, veterans they have a special heart in my heart just because I've been where they were at one point.
Right.
What the struggles and all that.
What branch were you?
I was in the Army for 5 years.
Army. Okay.
Yeah. I deployed to Afghanistan, combat vet. Got blown up by an RPG.
Oh shit.
And then while in combat, I had a near death. So so I saw myself out of body, and looking at myself on the floor.
Wow.
Crazy, right? And then during combat, the only thing that kept me from coming back, because so when you're in that state, and a lot of people don't realize that, right? I was out of my body looking at myself, and then I was still thinking these thoughts, but I wasn't feeling them.
Okay.
Because I didn't have the body and the chemicals to feel
right.
So then a lot of people say we come
spiritual.
Right. So then a lot of people say we come to Earth to feel these emotions. So being in that state, and I'm like, oh, I'm still thinking happy, but I'm not feeling it. It wasn't until I got into my body, and then I'm like, oh. So now we come to this world that we're spiritual beings and energy, and being in that state, we can't feel anything.
Right.
But we need this tool, this body that we live in, to feel everything that we're in,
right.
and master it, and come to an understanding that, we wanted to come here and feel these experiences. But the thing that brought me back was I saw flashes of my kids. Yeah. And
how old were they then?
They were like 6 and 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then that for some reason, that almost made me feel in the spiritual world. And then I was like, and I saw flashes of them living life without a dad. Or even that, or I knew then that my ex-wife was going to pass away, not knowing that now. And then if I went onto the other side, they weren't going to have a mom and a dad. Can you imagine that, right? They're both dead.
Right.
From traumatic events.
Right.
So what I did, I just went to my body. I mean, I was floating down to it, and I started yelling at myself, just get up. And then just at the top of my lungs, just get up. And then eventually I came back. But then I came back, I was just, my friends and then my battles told me I was moving like Captain America, just invincible. But then I tell them, it's not necessarily that. I was connected to source, and I knew I wasn't going to die. So why should I be fear? I wasn't going to let fear after that day ever control me ever again. And yeah, I still get scared and stuff like that, but I know the feeling of fear, and I meditate and I sit with it, and I just don't let it overtake me.
That's
I just
crazy.
don't live by fear.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think one thing that would be missing from that story, if a Marine was telling it, is Doc came up and stuck his finger up your ass.
Yeah.
And that's what got you. You know what I mean? I think that's
okay, yeah, I'm good. Oh yeah.
Woo! Here we go.
Yeah, but they were telling me that I was just saying my last name over and over and over. So I mean, because I have a TBI.
Okay.
I'm
so do I.
disabled.
Yeah.
So, but no, yeah.
We're all
after
fucked
that,
up.
right? At some point, right? But no, yeah, I did that, and then I went through 80 years of the whole VA program, so nothing worked.
Which was bullshit.
Bullshit pills, their therapy, even therapy. You talk about the traumatic events over and over and over and
Doesn't
over
do
and
anything.
over and over. And I'm like, now thinking about it, I'm like, they're just programming me to be freaking depressed about my
Right.
experience, right?
You're gonna identify by the story that you tell now,
Yeah.
instead of getting over it.
Right.
But yeah, I'm done with this now. As part of my life is over. No, now I identify by this story that you're making me tell.
Exactly. And that's a lot of veterans are. They identify with their story, and then even identify with being a veteran. Like, I'm a veteran. Oh, I'm never going to get healed.
Well, that's trauma. Trauma isn't what happened to you. Trauma is the story that you create and tell yourself throughout your life. That's
Right.
the trauma. The what happened to you, you moved past that. That's over.
Exactly.
With.
Yeah.
That's gone. That's
Right.
done. The trauma is what the story is.
Exactly.
That's the trauma.
Yeah. And I would say it was a blessing in disguise, because even though it was shitty, and then I almost got to the point where I was going to take my life, but then I saw all the modalities that they were offering that it wasn't working. And then now I could be in this field for like almost 10 years now, and working within myself,
Right.
and then helping other vets.
Controlling it.
Right. And seeing their patterns, and just not even necessarily veterans, just seeing people with mental health and their patterns. I could see through my experience how to help them and how to put them on the path to do the healing.
Okay. Would you agree that there's a difference between mental health and mental illness? Or do you think they're the same?
So mental, I would say they're probably different. Mental health is what your state of mind is.
To me, mental health is like the gym for
Right.
the brain.
Yeah, yeah.
Mental illness is you have a disease,
Right, that you're born with, right?
that something is, or you've developed, or like the 51, the crazy, where people just snap and they're just 5150'd.
Right.
That's to me a mental illness. Like going into these schools and shooting up things, that's an illness. That's not mental health. And I hate when people, same thing with PTSD. And to me, it's like the same thing where people associate PTSD with just military.
Right.
Military only.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, listen, everyone's gone through something fucking traumatic.
Oh yeah.
You could have been in a car accident. You have PTSD.
No, yeah. I mean, the military was just one aspect to it. I mean, growing up, I grew up in East Los, and my dad used to abuse me.
Okay.
Physically and sexually.
Oh shit.
And then he used to also abuse my mom, and I used to see it. So and then that's from the military, and that programmed me to. And then I always used to see it. He wasn't sneaky, not appreciate my mom and not love her and stuff like that.
Right.
But within that self, he was teaching me how to be a man, subconsciously, right? And then that with me, it's like I always struggle with that's not the right way, and that's not the right way.
Right.
And he showed me different. But within that, I had to find the way within myself. And the way I was like, I know he just showed me, to be honest, all the ways I don't want to be like a man. And within itself, that's a gift.
Right.
Because now I know how I want to be as a man and
Right.
treat women and my kids and everybody. So then now I find ways, and I know the feeling of somebody who's been abused, right, sexually or
Right.
physically, so that I could see it in people.
You can associate too.
Yeah,
I've been there
yeah.
before.
And on top of that, I mean, I grew up in East Los in 1987, so it was a lot of drive-bys.
Okay.
And growing up in that environment, being dark as I was, they told me I wasn't going to amount to anything. You're not going to make it. We're immigrants. And it just
Right.
constantly cycles of that, what they came through. But it took within myself that's what they grew up, and it was passed on to them. It's not
Right.
necessarily me.
Right.
Right. So even then, I had to just overcome it. But it takes strength to see the patterns, and then on top of that, rewire my brain. And on top of that, I mean, I was homeless for a while. We were homeless. We grew up with nothing. I mean, I'm Mexican, but I'm a lot darker than Mexicans, and a lot of my own people used to call me the N-word all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, which is crazy, right? And I'm like, but,
Nutella?
well, yeah, like negro,
Oh. I thought you were saying Nutella.
Oh, that too. It's dark, right? It's dark. But no, yeah, that rewired me to question myself and even not give me my confidence.
Right.
But then, like I
So
said,
they were chopping you down from
yeah, the moment I was born, I
Yeah.
was just chopped up. I was started off with a horrible story. It came from nothing. But at the end, it's just, I wanted to see within myself if I could be better. And I was a product of that world. But now, by being a product, I can overcome it.
Right. I think, see, I had similar, I mean, I wasn't abused or anything. I mean, my mom was a speed freak growing up. And I think for me, which I think would be almost, you could probably jump in the same category, was if people don't understand, it's harder to try to find who you want to be versus running away from the person you don't want to be.
Right.
So much easier.
It
Being,
is.
I don't want to be that.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to be that.
Right.
But it's harder to find what you want to be versus, nah, I'm good. I know I'm going away from that, and I'm not going anywhere near that.
Right.
So that for me, my journey was always, that's not what I'm going to be.
Exactly.
I didn't care what I was going to be, but I knew what I didn't want to be.
Right.
And that helped.
That's what I tell people. If you have a bad experience, at least now you know what you don't want.
Right.
And it shows it to you, and you vibrate with it. And then I said, and you know the feeling of it. So you could move away from it, and you know how to do it. But yeah, all these things, it's like, I know I don't want to be like that, but what type of man do I want to be?
Right.
And then on top of that, how do I give back to other people and show them? That's why, like, I give back to veterans in the community, like making feel people alive. So every time I see somebody, I'm like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And they're like, and inject them with happiness, you know?
Right.
And it's not just because you come from so much trauma doesn't mean you're like that forever.
Right.
You choose who you choose to be.
Right.
If you choose to be this uplifting person who wants to help, give back, and make a dent in society and in everything and in people's life, then be it.
Right.
Nothing's stopping you other than yourself, right?
I always tell people you are one Google search away from changing your life.
Yeah, right.
It's, I mean, with everything today,
yeah.
come on.
No, yeah.
What do you want to do?
Right, and I'm always like, Google, how do I do this? Okay,
Right.
cool, right?
YouTube. I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
YouTube.
it's simple. Everything
Yeah.
is there. You can change your life today. If you wanted to be a stock trader, how to be a stock trader.
Right.
Boom. Watch a couple videos, go do what you need to do and get on that path. Hang out with the, a lot of people don't hang out with the people or associate with.
And that's the other thing I was going to say. Through the House of Light and through Mindfulness Veterans, we build a community. So you can have people who are like-minded, who want to change, and you could surround yourself with them. Because like you said, it matters who you're around.
Yes.
If you're trying to change, but you have your friend who's just doing the same shit and just wants to drink or lives wild, you can't, it doesn't really resonate, right?
You'll briefly change.
Yeah, you'll briefly
but
change.
then you're going to go back to hanging out with your boy.
You see him doing the same thing.
Because it's easy.
Right.
Comfort.
Right. But having these community of men and women and then the House of Light where it's safe for you to come and just be you, not necessarily just be like all spiritual, but just be through the work, through the healing, and that community feels absolutely incredible.
So if someone's listening right now and they're saying, man, I'd like to find out more about this. What's like give me like a regiment, like what's like for a month, right? So the first month, they're like, hey, I want to come down. Is it once a week? Is it once a month? Is it, twice a month? What's the program that you're saying, hey, listen, let's come down, get you in. Like, do you evaluate them? Do you talk to them and say like, where you at?
It's really, I mean, me and my wife are really highly intuitive. Some people call it psychic. So we get a lot of downloads. So even by talking to you, I take the state that you're in and I incorporate that to see how much you can handle. Because I can't necessarily throw the whole regimen on you, because then a lot of people are like, that's a lot, it's overwhelming.
Bring it, big dog.
Right? They're like,
bring it to me, baby.
That's how I am, man. I dive deep in, but a lot of people don't have that strength yet, right?
Right.
So you have to help them understand and build them up.
Because they don't know who they are.
Exactly. And they're scared, and I'm like, I don't know. So they come in, they do the regimen, like once or twice a week, we talk to them, and then we serve combo. So combo is non-hallucinogenic, has nothing in it. It is a frog, and it's these dots we burn onto you. I don't know if you ever heard of it or seen it, but it's a poison where it detox of you everything.
Really?
Everything. So there's one veteran, she used to drink a lot and was heavily on drinking. And then she came in, she did the combo session, and then the next day she just overnight just stopped drinking. Just like that, never again. But on top of that, so you drink 2 liters of water and all that water gets absorbed into your stomach, because your stomach has the most neurotransmitters and processors, right? And all those microbes in your stomach get absorbed into the water. So the poison goes into the water and you vomit it. And then after a while, I see this yellow and this green coming out of people's stomachs. And that's the toxicity and everything they have in there. And then after, they feel so incredible. And it not necessarily just cleans your body, but it cleans your mind too.
Right.
Your mind, spiritually, the chakras, all of it. So on that's we get them healthy. And then from there, we go on to the regimen that they seek.
Okay.
Like through plant medicine and through the coaching, and not necessarily the plant medicine, because the plant medicine is just one aspect, right? So you have to do like the breath work to inject yourself with this higher form of energy of prana to know what it feels like. Because a lot of people who come, they're seeking help, right? And they're not necessarily at the higher state that they want to be in. So if they want help, like through the yoga and through the breath work and through these other modalities, like the sound healing, inject them into your body so you can feel them. Because a lot of people are numb, right?
But you have to be receptive of this in the first place. You can't just you can't just show up and be like, let's check this shit out. Like,
right. Oh, well, even then, there are those people.
But you got to have some sort of, this might work.
Well, yeah, a lot of people who do come to us, they done all the Western modalities, and then I'm like, if they're still closed minded, I'm like, then stay on the path that you're on, and where has it gotten you?
Right.
The doctors and everything that you've been doing. Obviously, you came for us for a reason, and something brought you and gave you the courage. Hey, let me reach out to these people because I feel their energy is good, that the House of Light is good, and what they offer is different, right? And that's what I tell people. What it's not for me. Well, something brought you here, right? And if you're still doing the same thing that you're doing, then what's going on? Like,
is it working for you right now?
Yeah, right. Is it working for you?
So what's it gonna hurt?
Right. So what's it gonna hurt if this here? Just sit down. Let's treat you real quick, and I guarantee you, after that, you'll feel. Just even if you feel a little bit, you'll be like, you'll love it. It's almost like a drug. Your body.
I was gonna say it's gonna set off those the endorphins and shit. And you're gonna be like, wow, that even if it's for 30 minutes, you're like, I want more of that.
Exactly. And then if they say no, they don't come back. I guarantee you they'll probably go out into the world and try to find that feeling. But they won't. They won't.
Right.
They will, but
it'll lead them back to their old ways.
Yeah, it'll lead them back to their old ways, or that feeling will last 6 seconds because they don't know how to keep it and make it into a long-term thing. So eventually they'll come back and be like, you know what? All right, let me try it. And then I'm not looking at them like, see, I told you. I'm still like, hey, come on in. Right. There's no judgment. There's no nothing.
Door never closed.
No, there's never closed. I'm just, all right, cool, brother. You know, I know everybody takes a while to come in, and it's okay. I'm not judging you or anything. Just come in. I still love you. Open heart. Let's do it. Because at the end of the day, I love helping people, and my wife loves helping people and helping the community, and just
Right.
seeing how people they come in, and after they've so lifted, I just get I feel so good.
It's a paycheck.
Yeah.
Same thing with the veterans trips. Is you put someone on their first fish, or they take them out for their first time in the ocean. They're just like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
You know, and then that feeling of when they were on the ledge and they're like, man, I needed this. Thank you.
Exactly, right.
If it wasn't for you, I don't know if I'd be here tomorrow.
Right. And then even that, giving that spark to that veteran or that person, they become the beacon.
Right.
They spread it, right? And they tell people, and eventually
because they're vibing.
Right, they're vibing, and they tell people, other people, and it takes a little spark to light the fire.
Right.
And we're that spark, right? Like you through your videos, every time I see them like, this is so funny. Like, how does he even come up with that? And I'm like drilling over here like this fool. But it injects me happiness, right? And then out there, everything you see, like, I don't watch the news 'cause it's all depressing.
Oh
right?
my God, it's horrible.
Everything out there is depressing or sex or something, but it's not to the state of where like I want to feel good, right?
Right.
So the things that even you do, I'm like, this, I love it.
And it's biased.
Right.
It's someone's opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the news. It's not just reporting anymore. It's let me tell you how I feel.
Right.
About this situation, but this also happened.
Right, and then they get all these stories, right, and they sit in a meeting, like in a war room, and they're like, oh, there's a happy story. No, take that out.
Yeah.
Or there's a good story.
That's
no,
not going to hit.
Yeah, that's not going to hit. No, we don't want to make them happy. No.
Right.
Oh, that's really traumatic. Boom, boom, boom,
that's
boom, boom.
drama. There
right.
is
Oh,
shit.
drama, right?
Yep.
And then that's how it is. And then they keep forth, and people watch the news, and then they live in this state. And that's why I tell people you have to make traumatic changes.
Yeah. You know, I heard a quote the other day, and it said, the goal in life is to plant trees under whose shade you don't ever plan to sit under. I might have messed that one up, but it's basically plant trees for other people to have shade, and so you're never going to use that shade. So it's do unto others without any expectation in return.
Right, and that's like almost be a service to others, right?
That's all it is.
Yeah,
it's just people, like, I'm not religious in any way. I'm not a religious person. I feel that when you die, you just die. I don't believe that there is like a heaven where we go. My belief is the heaven is once I leave here, how long people talk about my name, the impact that I left here. Yeah. To me, that's heaven. That's eternal life.
Right.
Because once the last person talks about you, then you're dead.
No, right.
Just like you have family too. I have great grandparents. I don't know who they are. I don't know them.
Yeah.
I have no idea what they look like. Don't know their names.
Yeah.
But if I can leave something here to where my legacy lasts, to me, that's part of life.
Yeah, and then within itself is just the energy, right? You're trying to leave behind.
That's it. Just trying to leave an impact.
Like when they think of your name, they get overfilled of emotions. Like, oh yeah,
I remember that dude.
Yeah,
I don't want you to say nothing bad. Like, oh fuck that guy. Like he was. I want you to be like, yo,
right,
man, I miss that dude. Like,
right, and that's essentially what I try to do. When people think about me, I mean, nobody's perfect, right? I'm sure there's times like, but I want people to think of me like he gave back. Right, helping people and helping vets, even though right now it is like taboo and the government doesn't see it.
Right,
but this is the new forefront,
Just I believe so.
At one point, weed was illegal, and it was like, oh my gosh, don't do that. Right. And
now they're like, oh, you don't smoke? What's wrong with you?
Right, everywhere. Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then now there's Netflix movies about psychedelics, everything. Right. And then now it's got legalized in Sacramento.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the VA is doing research, like clinical trials with mushrooms right now.
Yeah. But those clinical trials could last 10 years, right?
Well, I mean, but the fact that it's even being tested on is beneficial, I think.
And that's why I feel it's really important to educate people and veterans how this medicine works. Not necessarily you go on a bad trip, and I tell people those bad trip, it's also what the environment and the state that you're in. Because mushrooms also enhance the state that you're in.
Right.
So if you go to work and you're like, fuck work, you're just going to feel that feeling times 10.
Right.
Or if you go with people who are not on high vibration or anything like that, then you're going to feel them. So you have to be with somebody who knows what they're doing and is guided.
I totally got sidetracked right now. Let me see why that shut off. Power on. You want to take a break, or you good?
I'm good.
Okay. I like this. I think it's going pretty smooth. All right, let's talk. So you said, I mean, your childhood was rough. I mean, pretty much all your life has been a battle, like a fight. I mean, shit.
Right,
the military was kind of a carryover from your childhood.
Pretty much.
I mean, you basically didn't even have to go to boot camp. You could have just showed up and said, "I'm ready."
Yeah, which
Right?
is funny because when I went to Afghanistan, and then the way they shoot you, the Taliban, they shoot you from Iraq. And in my head, I was like, man, East Los is more dangerous than this because they'll just come up to you and shoot you, right? Drive by and all that.
Right.
So even that was just like, but then I was like, fuck, I had a shitty childhood.
They'll shoot at you and then they'll invite you in for tea.
Right, yeah. Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And like,
we're at an East Los.
by 4th Street, 3rd Street.
Oh, okay, so Allen B's.
Yeah.
That's my spot, bro.
Yeah, right there.
That's
man.
my spot, dude. First, was that First Street? I think.
Yeah, by 1st Street. Yeah.
Down the street from Hollenbeck.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
By what is it called? The 5 Puntos?
Yeah, that's my spot, dude.
Blood in, blood out.
Yeah, that's my spot, dude. Right down from Mariachi Circle, right there.
Yeah. So that's where I grew up, and then at that time, I mean, it was all gang violence, you know.
Right. Well, still is.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's a little bit better, but I don't know.
Right.
Right now.
So, do you think, like, what started your whole journey as far as doing the mindfulness veterans and the what's the church name?
The House of Light.
House of Light. So
Yeah.
what do you think started your journey on the mindfulness veterans and the House of Light church? Like, at what point did it click? Like, you know what, this is what I'm destined to do. This is it.
It came to a point where I realized that everything that happened to me was a gift.
Okay.
Every traumatic experience in the military, everything. And then I saw that, hey, if I could heal myself, and I wanted to say healing because growth is a forever process, to where I could get to a point where I could help other people. And then I just don't want anybody out there to experience what I've been through. And if I could give back and help them and show them that there is a way, and even give hope, that's literally what started Mindfulness Veterans. It was like, I think at midnight or 1 o'clock, I was helping myself with just like reading research and reading books. I read everything. When during COVID, I dived into like I read all world religions, frequencies. I mean, vibrations, energy, Nikola Tesla, the electromagnetic field.
Right.
Like your heart vibrates at a 7.86 frequency.
Right.
And that's why people feel that.
Yeah.
And every temple around the world, pyramid, vibrates at a 4.32. That's why monks back in the day, they go in there and they use the voice for vibration. Because when you're in a thing, it shoots the sound back, and you actually heal yourself.
Yeah,
for
right.
real. So it's all a science, and the ancients had it. Yeah,
that's Western music.
Right.
You put on a song and someone's singing it, and you relate to it. And it either puts you in a good mood or it brings you back to a time where you're like, oh, I'm depressed. Like, you put on some Boys to Men, bro. I'm gonna go back into like high school days. And I'm like, damn, shit.
Yeah, I feel good, right? You know, it's just at 1 o'clock. Then I figured it was just a little thought in my head, like, hey, I can help people.
That's cool.
And then really being into mindful of the way you talk to yourself. That's where then I was like, hey, I'm a vet, right?
Right.
And then mindfulness, I put it together, and then once I put it together, I was so passionate about it, and it just hasn't stopped. I started doing research on every type of plant medicine, not necessarily the medicine itself and how it affects you, the molecules, the way it gets into your system, how long it's into your system,
Okay.
how long have you had it with different medication, right? How to provide in these different settings. Like that's why a lot of these shamans, they do the medicine in nature. So when you feel nature, what do you feel? You feel good about it, right? And it's like
hear the birds chirping,
right? Like, oh, this feels good, right? And that's why they say it's different if you do it in nature rather than do it in a therapeutic room, because in a therapeutic room, it just feels stale. And that's why all these shamans use these sounds to encompass the nature, right? These whistles, these drums, and to release that and get deep healing. Yeah, and then from there, I was on that path during COVID. Everybody was doing their thing. I was diving into plant medicine and then going to Mexico to work with the medicine and taking myself and so forth. And then from there, it wasn't until I met my wife through Instagram. She was into the same field as healing, crystal. She was at the time an energy coach healer or a coach change your life. She's originally from the Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
And then her herself went through some stuff. Like she was telling me a story where she was in a storm, category 5 or 6.
Oh shit.
And they were buckled down. I think it was in Puerto Rico. And they were buckled down in a restroom, and the eye of the storm was going over them. And they lost absolutely everything.
Damn.
Everything in her past marriage, and they came to the States with nothing.
I thought you were gonna bring her here today.
Yeah, I was going to, but yeah, she has her kids today. They get out early.
Okay.
Because it's Halloween.
Because I had the other mic set up. I was like, you know what, he might even bring her, so I'm gonna have it just in case. Because I know it'd be or maybe even in the future, it'd be cool to have both you guys on.
Yeah.
And
then
talk
she
about
would
this.
give you her stuff. But yeah, I met her through Instagram, and she was already into healing, and she did several ayahuasca ceremonies,
Okay.
same as me. And then from there, like I said, I met her. I mean, the moment I met her, I was like, fuck. I just knew instantly. I didn't have to wait or anything. I was like, I'm going to marry you.
Right on.
And then
Now, you guys go good together because, like I said, when we first met you guys, I thought you'd been together for a long time, and I didn't know, like,
no, that was the first time I brought her around.
You just swiped right on her or left, whatever it was.
Hey, let's come on. All right,
yeah.
down, right. And then from there, yeah, we started making the House of Light Church, and then she has her modalities of healing. She deals with women.
Okay.
Mostly women, and then some men.
And that's cool to have that balance of, you know,
Right.
because most women aren't going to come talk to you.
No.
They don't want to hear you talk to you. They don't want, get out of here.
Right, and I do try to talk to them, but then at the end of the day, I am a man.
Right.
You know, and then she's really feminine, and they want to talk to a female to connect. You know, and some of them do talk to me because I have my traumatic experiences and so forth. But mostly, yeah, she deals with women.
It's more effective, I think, from a woman's point of view.
Right. But when we work together,
that's what's powerful.
Yeah, because she brings me in, and together, it's just everybody tells us we're incredible, man.
And then the woman, the wife or whatever, can go home and say, "Hey, babe, like."
That's what, yeah, that's what they all do.
Let's come with me and try this.
Right.
You know?
Right. And here's a guy who's not necessarily like feminine. She's masculine.
Right.
Yet he knows how to talk to you and tap into these feelings, and they're changing the stereotype of what it is to open up. Right.
And I don't think, like, for me, I don't want to go to the VA and talk to some dude in a white jacket.
No. Right.
I don't want to tell you anything because you don't give a shit. No,
yeah. Pretty
you
much.
don't fucking care.
No, they don't.
So when someone comes and talks to you, not only have you been throughout your life on some personal shit,
right,
where you have that first person experience of dealing with trauma, pain, suffering, depression, suicide. I mean, but on top of that is how do you overcome it?
Yeah, exactly.
And
so overcoming
let me help you take certain little snippets from it. You don't have to take it all, but just take something and implement it into your life. Right. And start the change.
No, yeah. And these are these supplements, like I tell these men, you could just do through your daily day. It doesn't have to be nothing crazy and sit there and cry for an hour. You know? It's just being EQ, emotional intelligence, and acknowledging these emotions. And then once you feel them, let them go.
Right.
Don't hold on to them, and then don't let them control you. But no, yeah, being able to, like you said, these women come and they're like, my husband, my boyfriend, I should bring him. And guess what? They all come.
And he's like, dude, what? All right,
right. Like, veterans, every type of men, real estate, people in the military. I mean, barbers, anything. I mean, now it's funny because a lot of people I work with, they have PhDs. I was talking to this one girl. She's getting her PhD. Another guy has his master's, and they're all doctors. And I'm like, man, I feel honored. They're coming to me, right?
Right.
And who am I? But yet, you know, I know how to talk to them and help them understand their feelings. That not necessarily that the Western world, or if they do give it, it's more like a lecture. This is how you do. This is go get rid of this.
Right.
There's no connection.
It's a what's that called? Not a spreadsheet, but one of those
like an Excel thing,
like an Excel type word.
Here's how you do it.
Yeah,
there's no feeling. But when I talk to people, I just
PowerPoint.
Right, like a PowerPoint.
It's a PowerPoint.
on the next slide, here you go. Take some notes.
Right. The guy from Clear Eyes is like, right, here we are.
Yeah, and then a lot of the videos I watch, I'm like, this is freaking boring.
Right.
And then they're educated, but they don't know how to bring it with a passion and connect with people. Right. Okay. A lot of these people, they don't, not necessarily don't, but they're not really ripened like us. Right, we're in the field where we've been through a lot of stuff.
Well, we were trained on how to just suck it up and move on.
Yeah,
press on. You were trained how you suppress everything that you have in your body except for the fight to move on, and you just go. Mm-hmm. You suppress everything, and then at a later date, if you get to it, then think about it, and then shut up and keep moving. Like you're taught. If you go to medical, you know you don't go to medical because you're gonna get shit talked on by your unit. If you get put on light duty, or you don't want to mess with any of that.
No, right.
You all want to be with the guys, so you mask it up and you bottle it up and you suck it up, and then next thing you know, one thing leads to another and you explode.
No, yeah, and unfortunately, that's what a lot of people take their lives, right? Especially veterans. That's that stopped at 22 veterans a day kill themselves.
And I think that statistic is off.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a lot more.
I think that I think it's off. I think they pad that a little bit to not. Bring more awareness to it. I think they're kind of just waiting.
No, right.
Till we all off ourselves. My personal opinion, because they just don't care.
Yeah, but then again, it's going to take another person or another vet to care. Right.
Well, and that's why I do what I do. You do what you do is because we do care.
And we're that spark, right? And they may say no, but no, we're here fighting for vets
Yes.
and for people. Show
Right.
them there are other ways. Even though they say, no, you're a man. Yeah, you could be a man then, but then 2 seconds later at home, you're dealing with all these emotions. Right.
Right.
But now, yeah, we're literally the spark, and I feel this spark is only going to keep catching fire. Man, it's going to keep catching fire.
But you do have some organizations out there, which I call nonprofits, that I don't feel like they're beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, and they are coming from a good heart, you know.
Without saying names, but
Right.
I like to see nonprofits that are actually, and that's why I had you on the show, is because I've seen you do good, and just from what the microdosing did for me,
Right.
that was tremendous. That was, I mean, life changing, because I feel like it unlocked a certain part of my brain that I never used before. I feel like it opened up a door for me to funnel things through, and it's like, wow, now I see things totally fucking different.
No, right, yeah, it did that, but it also gave you the power and control back in your hands.
Right.
And now that you had, you're like, oh shit, I can do this. Right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It afforded me the opportunity to slow down in a sense, and like open the door and like, hey, what's in here? Oh shit, that's cool. Check this out.
Once you open that door, like, oh shit, there's another door.
And
in
I
here.
felt like it just kept,
yeah.
And then I haven't been on a regimen now for a while, and I can feel where if I got back on, where I feel like I could probably go to the next level in life.
Oh, totally.
Like I feel mentally,
right.
spiritually. Yeah, I'm gonna still be fucked up. Don't get me wrong,
right.
but I feel that it gives you a power to tell yourself what's going to happen instead of yourself telling you what's going to happen.
No, right. Yeah. And then that journey that you're on is just like growth never stops, right? And it's up to you. As long as you see the benefits and you know what, I did enough work, I'm gonna wait a little bit, and then you get back on there. And nobody tells you your journey other than you, right? Right. And as long as what you feel comfortable with, you know what, I'm really good where I'm now, and then I feel I've healed or I've done enough work where I'm at in this state in life to where I could take a step back a little bit. But then eventually, if you take too much of a step back, and everybody is different, right? For me, it might be like a day, I'm like, I feel off. You could be like a year later and be like, okay, I got to get back on the horse, right? Right. But then as long as you see the benefits and you see that it does work, then you have hope to fall back onto. You know what I mean? That you're not stuck and be like, oh shit, I could never change. Oh no, I could change if I really want to. I know I have to put in the work. So let me just get back to it. And then now I feel I need to grow a little bit more.
So what would you recommend to someone listening to this right now with doubts or going through depression, going through suicidal thoughts, obviously you're going through suicidal. Obviously, if you're going through suicidal thoughts right now, call the hotline 988. Take care of that first.
Right.
But if someone is just down in the dumps and ready to just, how do I change my life? What are you recommending?
First, I would say you're not alone, and we're here for you. No matter where you're at in your life, just reach out and just talk to us. And that's all it is. Once you talk to us, then we could go from there. And then we have this community to help you. And it's not you just talk to us and you go back into your daily life and you're back to alone,
Right.
And we offer these different modalities. Come to our women's groups or our men's groups. And then you'll see by being there, there's other people like you. You're not, and everybody, when they're depressed, they feel so alone, right? And nobody cares about them. They have no community. But once you come and even talk to us and you step into the facility, you'll see that there's tremendous people who are going through the same thing or have been going through the same thing like you. And then from there, you'll be like, okay, that alone feeling dissipates. And then you start feeling there is hope. And then that's when we start getting you on a regimen, and then start talking to you and then releasing these thoughts, especially people who are depressed or suicidal. They don't have anybody to talk to. So they're always in their mind, right? So the first step, like I say, call us, reach out. You're not alone. There is hope. And let us just inject that hope back into you.
And how would they get a hold of you? What's the easiest?
So we have our website at thehouseoflight.org.
Okay.
Or they could check out our website at the House of Light Tribe. Or you could reach out through Mindfulness Veterans. Even though if they're not a vet, I'm not going to turn anybody away. Mental health is mental health.
Right.
And then if they're seeking help, I'm like, hey, I do have 2 organizations, me and my wife, So she's actually a board member of Mindfulness Veterans as well.
Oh, okay.
And then we both run the House of Light.
Right on.
So we're both a part of it. And she talks to veterans, and she's always, she has tons of veterans women, and she knows exactly what we're doing. So just, first of all, just reach out. And then from there, then we'll put you on the right path.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily just go away after that. No, we'll keep talking to you. And eventually these people get what they need, and they're like, it's like, okay, little bird, I'm gonna miss you, and then they
Right.
live their life, right?
Be
But
free.
be free
Yeah.
again. But I'm like, you've grown
Right,
so
right.
much, right? But just them feeling just so different. It's amazing, man. I love
That's
it.
cool. So how do you guys obviously there's costs associated with this.
Mhm.
You know, how do you guys fund this? How do you donations? Do you do drives? What
Yeah, so through a lot of the profit through Mindfulness Veterans, we try to collect donations and fundraisers and stuff
Okay.
like that. And then the same thing with or through the House of Light, through the temple, we have donations, and then we also for our services we offer like a sliding scale, how
Okay.
much they choose to donate, and we do understand that some people can't afford it,
Right.
so that's what we offer. It's certain sliding scale from here to there, and then from that we just keep refunding it back into helping the community.
Okay. But the donations are definitely needed.
Yeah. Donations are absolutely definitely needed because
Okay.
just like everything, it costs money.
Right.
You know, and unfortunately, that's the world we live in. But yeah, the more donations and the more we can offer these facilities and these programs more often and grow our range to helping people.
So donations are strongly needed.
Absolutely. Yeah, so donate, you know, just reach out and then.
Because I hate asking. I
Right.
For my trips, I literally hate asking people or putting it out there like, hey, just you know, this costs money, guys. And
Right.
you like watching it, and I like doing it, but
No, it costs money.
it costs money.
It
So
does. That's what I tell people. I'm like, yeah, we run on donations, and then some people who come in, they donate. But no, donations do help. I'm trying to get sponsors like that. But no, yeah, like, yeah, these people love what we do, and we do it over hard. But we also have to just live, you know,
okay.
and then provide these services.
Right.
And these services not necessarily aren't cheap, but other people we have to, you know, rent a facility and do the classes and get supplies and so forth and give our time into it. But no, yeah, donations are always welcome.
Now, is this in state only? Is this in person? Do you do online stuff? Like, do you do some coaching online?
Yeah, so we do Zoom coaching.
Okay.
Zoom
So if
coaching.
someone out of state is like, hey, I hear this and I want to talk to you about changing some stuff up, they can DM you, message you, go on the website
Yeah,
or
on
something.
the website we do.
And
Zoom
then you
calls.
can somehow contact them and you guys could do something with someone in Tennessee.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah. I have a friend who's in England. We talk all the time.
Oh, so overseas, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. All around
Gotcha.
the world. Trauma is trauma, right? Mental
Right.
health is mental health.
Right.
It doesn't matter where you're from.
I think it'd be hard to understand Ukrainian though.
Yeah, no, right. I mean, they have to talk. They have to talk some type of English or get through there.
Right.
But
Okay.
no, yeah.
Right on.
Doesn't matter where they're at. Just reach out. They could Zoom, or even if they want to come to one of our ceremonies, could we have them like every other month? Just they could fly down.
Okay.
You know? And
How many people can you accommodate at once?
15 to 20 people.
15 to 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that's at the higher end. But we like to keep it more
Intimate.
intimate. Because when you have intimate, then when you have a lot of people, then it's just serve and go.
Right.
Right. And that,
Less value
value.
to each person
Right.
versus 5.
Right. And if it's less, then we could give our full attention and energy into that person and help them, guide them, and get them out. And then they feel where it's like they actually appreciate me rather than just, you're good, go. You're good, you're good.
Right.
Like another client.
Right. Come in, leave.
Yeah,
Just a 30-minute session. and-
Right.
How long typically is a session? Like what's...
So our sessions are roughly between an hour and 3 hours.
Oh, shit.
I mean, we do offer private sessions.
Okay.
So they're more than welcome to reach out and set up
Do you
private.
go like mobile or is it all come to you?
It's all come to us right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we could go mobile. It's just
Like if someone wanted to have a, you know how they have like a Tupperware party or something?
Oh no, yeah. We
Like-
had groups like that. My wife went to one in Palm Springs.
Okay.
They wanted her to go over there and and offer the healing there. And then I drove over there while she did her thing, and I was just like, ooh,
That's
walking
crazy.
around. But
Yeah.
no, people have been reaching out. I mean, everywhere too. Can you come over here? There's people in Texas, Tennessee, Missouri. But I'm like, yeah, you have a good amount of people. Yeah, we'll go over there.
Right.
But now,
Almost like a seminar type thing
Yeah.
where you're like, hey, I'm gonna be over here at this place for
Yeah.
$40.
Right.
Come check it out and start the journey.
no, exactly, yeah. But no, yeah. Right now it's just at the studio. Come to us, and then like I said, we offer a lot of private clients.
Awesome.
A lot of privates, you get our deep connection and our
Okay.
deep concentration on you. And people like that when there's just mostly one-on-one rather than being a group. And some people like group healing, and there's strength in that just because like if I don't go in get the healing, then you see she does, you're like, oh damn, I see her doing it. Why can't I?
Right.
Right. But then other people like to do it. But no, we offer group settings, and they could reach out through the website.
Okay. Sweet. Before I sign up, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we're pretty covered in. Yeah, so just shoot us a follow or at our DM, the House of Light tribe on Instagram, and we're also on Facebook, the House of Light, our website. and everything's on there, our information, and then we're really quick to responding.
Okay.
So
And I'll put everything up on the page so everybody can get a hold of you and
Okay.
And get in contact with you, because personally I can recommend it because you helped me.
Right.
You know, even my wife was like, wow. Like that I saw the difference. And even today, like we talked earlier, where we talk about the response of anger or anything, it's a choice.
Right.
And that made me realize that I had a choice, that it was past programming, which my initial response was anger. And, you know, just like I always tell people, there's a conscious and the subconscious. And the conscious is us talking right now, me talking to you, but the subconscious is what's moving my hands, and I'm not even telling myself to do this right now, right? I could just do it.
Right.
And that's my programming.
No, exactly.
And I tell people, you can change your programming. It's simple. It really is. But you have to have someone like you who can say, let me show you.
Right. And then they also have to have someone like you who's actually done it, and they
Advocating.
Right. I could say do all this, but like who show me people. I'm like, you yourself, right? And like it worked on me, and they're like, oh dang, okay, so if he does it and it does work, then maybe it will work on me.
Right.
You know? So it takes like both of us doing the work, and
I'm down to let everybody know, dude, like this is definitely a life-changing experience. It's not something, and what I loved about it was, like, when I took the pills, I took the pill and I knew that I wanted another one.
Right.
I knew that in 4 hours or whatever, I needed another one. I would take this pill in the morning, and I would never revisit that.
Right, that's crazy.
I never revisited, I need another pill, or I never was like, oh my God, I need that. I'm missing
like
that
fix.
feeling.
Yeah.
I never had that. I took the pill in the morning. I went through my day. At the end of the day, I'm like, fuck yeah, I had a great day today. And the next morning, just kept moving on. And then it felt like it kept building and building and building and building.
Yeah, that's incredible, man.
So I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, yeah, and if you don't mind, I like to say all the activities that we offer. You know, yeah, like my wife also does women, Mystic Women Circles.
Okay.
So with these women, they just get together and they tap into their intuition, and she teaches them how to use that. And then the same thing with me, with men groups, I teach them how to deal with their emotions and then how to overcome them, and then with the breath work and stuff like that. We also do hiking. So we go hiking, and then sometimes, I offer them a microdose where they could feel that high energy and they get programmed with that feeling.
Okay.
Same thing with that, and then getting together, the community, we have sound healing. So we show them the sound bowl healings, and they lay down for an hour, and then they feel good, but they remember that feeling.
Right. Now, do you have a calendar? Like,
Yeah, it's all on our email.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, not email. Our website.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and they can sign up for our email and our newsletter, and we shoot
sweet.
that out.
Okay.
And we always have something going on, or it's just if they would like to attend our community, or even after they do, we also provide free Zoom calls. So if they get on the plan or they have questions, they can hop on there. We could educate them on that.
Access to you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, dude, you're definitely changing lives, brother. I appreciate you coming all the way out here for this. I hope I did you some type of justice on.
Yeah, you did.
But this is him, man. This is Jay, mindfulness veterans and House of Light Church.
Yeah.
Is that House of Light Church?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Online is just a House of Light, but yeah, we
House of Light.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's Jay, mindfulness veterans, House of Light, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course, man.
Make sure you give him a follow on Instagram, Facebook. I'm sure he's got all the other platforms out there, so
Absolutely.
search him out. And if you guys have any questions, man, send him a DM and get on this program. I highly recommend it. It changed my life for reals, and I can't wait to get back on a little regimen after we talk after this.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely, man. Like I said, it's an honor that I can help you.
Right
know,
on.
and then just help you live the best life that you can.
That way you definitely put me in the right direction, brother. I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, of course.